What's up, everyone? Sporting the Johnny's Mellow Bike Shop cap this week and the Anton X t-shirt. I'm just planning my trip to South by Southwest this year in March, and just excited to be in Austin, both for South by Southwest EDU, where I've been on the advisory board for over 8 years now, and going to South by Southwest Interactive, where I'm able to take some of the ideas that are generated in other industries and then contextualize those for education so that I could bring it into the work that I deliver for you guys. So today I am going to go back to a topic that I wrote about recently, which is around feedback, because all of us feel like it's normal to give feedback. You know, in all of our work, we get and receive feedback all of the time, sometimes formally and sometimes informally. And quite frankly, like, not all of the feedback is great. And so I wanted to give you my position on what makes good feedback. There have been so many situations where, after an event or after a presentation or after a meeting, someone asked me, well, can you give me some feedback? And the reality is, many times people are asking for validation. Some people do actually take feedback. It's hard, but they take feedback and try to incorporate. But most of the time, I would say my experience has been people trying to get validation. In general, I would say in our lives today and the way it's structured, I would say most of the time there's two types of feedback that I think kind of exist regularly. One is just what I call random acts of feedback. And even in structured environments where either people are asking for feedback or getting feedback on forums, it's still kind of random acts of feedback in my mind. Some arbitrary date is picked to provide feedback, whether it's after a meeting or during a time where performance reviews are being done. And there are a set of fairly arbitrary measures that are designed to calibrate somebody to a particular set of standards. And these standards were developed by people who may or may not have actually reached those standards themselves. I'm not discounting this type of feedback. I think it's valuable, but I think it's only valuable in high volume. So if hundreds of people consistently say you're exceeding at something, that's very different than one person saying that you're exceeding at something. A perfect example is I might think I'm a pretty good chef. If only one person tells me I'm a pretty good chef, then I might think I am. If 100 people tell me I'm a pretty good chef, I might think I am. There could be the reverse, where one person, like my wife, might tell me that I'm a pretty good chef because she wants me to cook all the time, or 99 other people can tell me that I'm a terrible chef. In fact, I shouldn't cook at all. And so that's where kind of the volume of feedback is important in these kind of random structures. So the second type of feedback that I wanted to describe is the kind that helps you evolve and grow and attain your goals. And that requires the provider of the feedback to really get to know you and what goals you have, so that they could give you specific advice on how to challenge and get off the plateaus that you're experiencing in the work or objectives that you have. So that's the kind of feedback where I say that it's the feedback that helps you evolve, because it doesn't ask you to be completely different or go in a completely different direction. It's actually helping you go into direction, helping you remove roadblocks, and helping you see the things that you can't see through this feedback stream. And that's the kind that helps you evolve into achieving the goals that you want to achieve. So I'm not saying that one type of feedback is better than the other. I think we need both. But I do want to be clear that when these things don't align between the giver of feedback and the receiver of feedback, that's when there's a tension, because the expectations are very different. And so it's so critical that you understand the type of feedback the person's wanting to receive, or preparing the person for the type of feedback that you're about to give them. So like I always say, don't compare your insights with other people's outsides. Peace. Sporting the mellow yellow sporting the Johnny's Mellow Bike Shop cap this week.